Hello and welcome back to Oolykee Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic Mod Monday. Today we have African map, water infrastructure and tiny factories. Again, as always, we have around 60 mods released in the last 7 days since I made the last video, so please go and check all the mods that were released because we have a really wonderful community and you're gonna definitely find something new for yourself there. First things first, we have Shopping Center by Tolati. Medium shopping center based on a real building in Tapolca, Hungary. Employs 25 workers and serves up to 225 citizens. 20 ton storage, 6 tons cold storage. Okay, so we have a shopping center. It's a really beautiful buildings. I really like the color scheme, and especially if it's based on a real building, it's big thumbs up in my book. Oh, look at the new confections on the display on the outside. Really nice details. You can see here rear loading base for the shopping center. Really beautiful building. Okay, so what about the building? If we go to a mod section and we go our first mod installed, 32,000 rubles. As advertised, 25 workers, 225 people can attend there depending on your workers' productivity and with a decent capacity. Of course, this capacity needs to be shared between 3 different types of merchandise. That would be food, clothes and electronics, and 6 tons of cold meat storage, which is a really decent capacity. Okay, so 32,000 rubles. How does it compare to something in vanilla? If we go to our shopping centers, we have a small one 14,000, bigger one 88,000. It's in between, so the small one has a little bit higher capacity, same workforce but a little bit higher capacity than the smaller one, but it's almost 3 times the price, 2.5 times the price, so it's quite realistic mod, definitely not a cheaty one. What about size wise? We can compare it to a big shopping center. It's really small, so I think it's comparable compared to the vanilla one. Let's go with this one. Compared to the small vanilla one, it's more or less the same size, but it has just a little bit bigger capacity and huge price increase, like 2.5 times. So not a cheating mod at all. Link in description of the video. Next we have Tiny Panel Factory by Mr. Novu. A small scale panel factory employing 10 workers, also includes industrial storage building, added tiny cement factory. This is really good. They started with the 1 building, but now we have 4, and they are similar models, and they are really beautiful models at that. They're quite similar to each other, the buildings are. And we have a tiny panel factory, we have a tiny cement factory, you see where the rocks are being burnt, and then we have 2 storage areas here. All of them have both loose cargo storage and they have the panel storage, internal panel storage, so it's kind of cool like that. And I think the capacities should be the same, so I have no idea what's the difference between these 2 storages, but we have 2 of them. I'm gonna go and double check when we are here. We go. So we have the tiny panel factory that costs 9,000 rubles. We have a tiny cement factory that costs 12,000 rubles. Yeah, a little bit more expensive. And then we have 2 industrial storages. They look to be the same. I really am not sure what is the difference between them. They look to have the same capacity. One of them is version 2. So we have version 2 and version 1. There we go. That's the best I can do. Right, so what about the realism of the price? So these are really tiny. I'm gonna expect that they are much cheaper than vanilla ones. Like you said, cement factory is 12,000 and this one is, let's say, 9,000. So if we go to our industrial production, that would be here, and we have cement plant that costs 119,000, produces 81 tons of cement, and we have panels factory, produces 71 tons of panels. Productivity of these factories, that would be cement, is 15 tons of cement, and we have tiny panel factory, 10 tons of panels. So they produce 1/7 of cement, I believe. Is it 1/7 of cement? No, 1/7 of prefab panels, and they produce, 1 second, we're gonna go for cement factory, it is 1/8, no, 1/4, no, 1/6, 1/6 or 1/5 of the vanilla production. So they are quite more affordable, but they're small scale productions. So I'm gonna leave it to you. They will be nice for starting off New Republic. Anyway, for more details, link in the description of the video. Next two mods are by Pasha Frollo 1990. A set of water intake wells. This one is ground well, tower type surface well, and surface water intake. Yes, it's called surface water intake. So these are the models that you can see here on the screen. This one has, does it tell me capacities? 760 cubic meters of water. This one can intake 760 as well over here. And the small one, small water well, is 1 cubic meter. Okay, let's go with 1 cubic meter. And then we have this one, surface water. I believe this is the surface water outflow. Outflow? Sure. Let's go with outflow. These buildings don't have collisions, so you can place them over the water or close to the shore, and they look quite nice there. Please go check out the link in the description of the video for more details on how this looks next to the water. What about the price-wise compared to vanilla? So if we go to vanilla ones, we have surface pumps. You can see here they cost 700 rubles, which is quite affordable. Compared to these buildings, I'm just gonna compare a couple of these buildings that we have in this mod. They would be 25,000 rubles, 800 rubles we have here. I think price-wise, I think it's definitely not a cheaty ones. You can see here even the small water wells, they have a similar price or they're a little bit cheaper. So definitely not a cheaty mod, and definitely gets thumbs up in my book, and you're gonna see this in my Let's Plays. Okay. Moving to a second mod, that would be the water treatment plant. Water treatment plant, it's designed to purify water from natural sources, from impurities and salts or heavy metals, bacteria and other harmful microorganisms. Workers 30, capacity 720 cubic meters, cleaning of pollutants approximately 90 tons or 90 tons. Maximum consumption of chemicals is 0.9 tons, electricity 18 megawatt hours. Dirty water tank is 6,850 cubic meters, capacity for clean water is 6,800 cubic meters, and warehouse for chemicals is 300 tons. That's a huge, by the way, that's a huge capacity for chemicals. Right, you can see here that even the smallest ones that we purchased automatically here, it's 60 tons of chemicals. That's an enormous amount of money. So we have a decent capacity for chemicals. I would say that's a little bit maybe too big, because consumption is 0.9 tons. That's really low. I mean, these chemicals, they will be there for like 100 years usage of it. It's not, I'm just exaggerating. For effect, it will be a year's worth of chemicals or so. 300 tons, because it's almost a ton consumption. It's a really beautiful building, and I think I'm gonna be using it myself. It does look more realistic than vanilla building, but what's the price say? What does the price say? Let's see. We have the chemical water treatment tank, 125,000 rubles, 720 cubic meters of water. If we go for purification station over here, water treatment small and big, it's this one is 44,000. So this is double the capacity, like 1.5 times the capacity of the modded ones, but it's also 3 times the price. So it's definitely not a cheaty mod, and you can see here that it takes much more space. There is a lot of parking spaces for vehicles, so you can take the water directly from here, I think. Actually, I'm not even 100% sure if you can take the vehicles here. It is for unloading chemicals, but it does have a huge truck bay. Anyway, for more details, you have a link in the description of the video. Spomenik Sumarice by Equinox Nova. There's a description in Serbo-Croatian. This is and there's an English. I'm going to read the English one. Of course, it's from my neck of the woods, so I can do the Serbo-Croatian language as well, but we're going to go to English straight away. Monument to shot students and teachers. The monument to shot students and teachers and professors, is located in Kragujevac October Memorial Park complex, built in a spot where the largest group of students and 15 professors were shot during the Second World War. The monument was erected in 1963 and represents the original work by artist and sculptor. I'm gonna leave it here. It's a beautiful brutalist monument that can be found in Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia is definitely one of the main countries to see all these beautiful brutalist monuments that that are commemorating the Second World War. Now, recent findings of mine in my Let's Plays say that this much loyalty, it could be a little bit on a high side, because 5% definitely, or 7.5%, influences a lot of your population. But this is also really significant monument, and it's not cheap to build. So if you go to details of the monument, you can see here the smallest version is 8,000. 14,000. The biggest one is 40,000 rubles in price, so it's not going to be cheap to construct one of these bad boys. Whatever you think about the influence that monuments have, should we have more of them, or should we have single big monuments like this? It's up to you. I definitely going to be constructing these monuments in my Let's Plays. For more details, you have a link in the description of the video. We have Gothic Cathedral by Tom Total and Vitek, or Vitek 3T. Right, so this is a Gothic Cathedral. That's something that we cannot really compare to anything in the game, but we're gonna check it out how it looks anyway. So building type, function, creator, okay, the information about it's not really too useful, but the model is absolutely beautiful. I love these Gothic style buildings, and where I grew up as well, where I went to college, cities has similar cathedrals, but this is definitely more magnificent than the one I had. So we have church, something that acts like a church, 360 people capacity. It has different skins. So if you want to go for something, is this a brickwork? Let's go and zoom in into the brickwork. A little bit, the details obviously a little bit lower, as you can see. Oh, the stonework looks magnificent. Look at this. You know, the skins are absolutely amazing. I love the skins in this. Details on the cathedral as well. You have 4 different skins if you want to use them. So which one is my favorite actually? I think would be the reddish. Yeah, this, I don't know. Ooh, this one looks cool as well. Let's leave it with stone. I live in Ireland, so we have gray churches here, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, what about the price? We cannot compare it to vanilla, but it is at least expensive because it's so magnificent. Yeah, good question. Let's go and check it out. Gothic Cathedral here, 7,000 rubles. Do you think that's fair price? I think it's a fair price. Let's see materials. What is it built off from? It would be 240 tons of concrete. 10 tons of steel. Yeah, it could be a little bit more pricey, especially steel-wise. And it does require 170 and 180 tons of gravel and stone, 110 tons of bricks. Yeah, but I think steel-wise especially could be a little bit more represented there. I mean, like, I know that steel wasn't, when these cathedrals were built, wasn't there, but I bet there's a steel reinforcements in these cathedrals these days. I might be wrong, though. But anyway, I wouldn't be moaning if it had even higher price than this. Anyway, for more details, link in the description of the video. We have Czechoslovak Houses PS69/1 plus T06B set by Prosectom. Prefabricated houses built in South Bohemia at the turn of the 1970s and 80s. Set include houses yada yada yada. There's 4 different types and 4 different types. Anyway, all buildings are non-collision. All buildings can be transparent. All buildings can have a transparent. That's probably the ad or something on the building. What? I'm not really sure what that means. But also there are color schemes. Okay, they come in 2 color schemes, all of them, as you can see here. Yellow ones and like this. Anyway, they don't have any collisions, but I found a problem with them. I found the problem that they are extremely affordable. So we have, let's go for price-wise. Some of them, like especially the big building over here with 260 people, it's practically free. It's 600. Let's see what materials are used there. The Oolykee doesn't approve this. This has definitely more than 3 tons of prefab panels and 0.3 tons of steel. So the price of this big building is not really realistic, I have to say that, even though it's a beautiful building. That's a first negative side. The rest of the buildings, they do have much larger material consumption, but they consume more materials, but we're gonna focus on these buildings first. Second thing that Oolykee doesn't like, now this is a personal preference, is road connections. I don't like road connections to the buildings because I don't think they should have it. it. It's not necessary for the buildings, and it's just a little bit annoying on my part, but it's not a big deal. All the vanilla buildings have roads connected to it. Okay, now let's go for the price wise. Like I said, this one is a little bit on a cheaty side because it's only 400 rubles in price, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be corrected in the future. And then the rest of them is 6,000 rubles for 6,600 rubles for 112 people. Again, I would say even materials that are there, like 40 tons, was it? 47 tons of prefab panels. This can be much more. I wouldn't be surprised that, this can be increased. And steel as well. I believe there should be more than 4.7 tons of steel in these buildings. So increased price definitely would be a positive thing. I don't think we should be cheaping out on these buildings. Living quality is 80%. I think that's quite fair. Bigger one has also the same quality. But let's compare these ones to vanilla and how much vanilla buildings cost. So this is 112 and costs 6,600 rubles. So do we have anything in vanilla that costs this much? 112 people. 127 here. This is 10,000 and we have 9,900. So it's a little bit cheaper. Buildings are a little bit cheaper than the prefab vanilla buildings. Do we have anything here? 970. Yeah, just a little bit. If it were a little bit more expensive, I think it would be better for everybody. So I really like these buildings, and you're gonna see them in my Let's Plays. And hopefully this big building gets, the retouched, or at least more materials required for it to be built. So more realistic price. For all other details, please check the link in the description of the video. And I give you Somalia by Kai. Somaliland, actually. This is Somaliland, the northern part of Somalia. It's independent. It's almost an independent country these days. So it has their own government, and it's not really anymore associated with the Somalia proper. So Somaliland map here. So Somaliland became independent from the United Kingdom in 1960. Somaliland would be integrated in Somalia in 1961. This integration was controversial, eventually leading to a war of independence and a civil war. Somaliland has now been recognized internationally as an independent state, but remains as de facto power in the area. Warfare between Ethiopia and Somalia, Somalia and Somaliland, Somaliland and militant Islamic groups prevented the establishment of the economy beyond pastoralism. Can you change this? This map offers interesting challenges: no coal, little arable land, and only one electricity import location, USD, US dollars. Challenge: since it's a Muslim region, you must choose between building mosques or using liquor. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a really good one. Resources on the maps are either based on the real-life locations, oil, or are included due to being found in the neighboring regions. Information of the locations are hard to find. Little surveying has been done due to the region's instability. Feel free to use any of this without my permission, including re-uploading the map editor with minor changes. I suggest you use the mods linked, especially Middle Eastern textures and the African trees. None of the mods are required for the map to function, but I think they flesh out the gameplay. Okay, interesting wording there, but yeah, I definitely agree with this, and I did subscribe to all of these mods, so there's a lot of mods that need to be subscribed, and I think I have I extended my mod collection by several pages here just to have these buildings as well. I'm gonna go and show you some of the buildings. This is with rubles. This is a small tent slaughterhouse. This is something that kind of fits in this area perfectly. I think these are the mods that you can find, and there's many pages of these mods, from mosques to buildings that can be found in this area. So really beautiful set. If you want a realistic gameplay, definitely install all the mods for this region, and I think it's a magnificent idea to have other parts of the world represented here. And Somalia, or Somaliland, it's next to perfect as well to have seasons off, just because it's you don't need heating here, and it never snows here as well, so without seasons. But unfortunately we cannot have seasons on without snow because developers and stuff. I think this is a great map. It's really beautiful. We're gonna cover the resources now. So we have coal, 0, like mentioned, and then we have iron. This is located in the mountains, and it's not high density, so just a heads up. A lot of oil in the Gulf of Aden. I think this is like Aden Straits, I believe it's here, and this is Djibouti over here. So you have Djibouti connection over there, and you have Oman on, no, sorry, Oman, that's the Arabian Peninsula, so my bad. This would be Somalia here, and Ethiopia to the south. So these are the neighboring countries that you can see, and here it would be, like I said, to the north would be the Yemen. I believe this is Yemen. So really beautiful representation of map how it is in real life. Now oil, like we mentioned, onshore oil is less than 100% quality. Offshore oil is 100% quality. Again, the mods that you need to subscribe here, you have offshore platforms, and then you have uranium. Not sure if uranium was found there, but that's great. You can start uranium industries. Oolykee loves nuclear, and then bauxite in low amounts, but you can find them in a lot of places. You can see here on the hillsides. It's a really beautiful map, something I'm gonna consider giving it a go in my Let's Plays, but definitely really beautiful map. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and you enjoyed this Mod Monday. Hopefully you found something nice for yourself. If you did, don't forget to press the like button. If you didn't, you can always leave a nasty comment in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, notification bell, ring at the comment section, hit it, and if you want to support the channel, you have the description of the video. Happy Monday, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.